The movie begins with a commercial from Funky Company, introducing their latest invention, interactive robot toys. These toys are made for kids whose parents are too busy to spend time with them. More than just toys, they act as companions. The scene then shifts to a young girl named Katie, traveling with her parents in heavy snowfall. She has one of these robotic toys with her. The weather is bad and visibility is low. Suddenly, their car breaks down in the middle of the road. A speeding vehicle crashes into them, causing a terrible accident. Next, we meet Gemma, an engineer at Funky Company. She is secretly working on a special project, a humanoid robot named Megan, designed to be the perfect friend for children. However, her boss, David, does not know about this. When he finds out, he gets angry because other companies are making similar products at a lower cost. Gemma tries to calm him down by showing a demo, but Megan malfunctions, embarrassing her in front of everyone. David warns her to fix it quickly or shut down the project. While struggling with work pressure, Gemma gets a call from the hospital. Katie, the little girl from the accident, has survived, but she has lost both her parents. Since Gemma is her only living relative, she is given custody. This completely changes her life because she is used to living alone and has no experience caring for a child. That night, as Katie settles into bed, she hesitantly asks Gemma for a bedtime story, just like the ones her mother used to tell her. Gemma, unprepared for the request, struggles to respond. She doesn't know any bedtime stories and isn't sure how to comfort the child. Awkwardly, she suggests that Katie close her eyes and think of something pleasant instead. Though Katie doesn't argue, the disappointment in her eyes is clear. Later that night, when everything is quiet, Gemma hears soft crying from Katie's room. She stops outside the door, unsure of what to do. She feels bad, but doesn't know how to make Katie feel better. After standing there for a moment, she walks away. The next day, a child therapist named Lydia visits to check on them. She notices that Gemma is too focused on work and is not bonding with Katie. She warns that Katie's paternal relatives are interested in taking custody, and if Gemma does not provide a better home, she might lose her niece. Even after the warning, Gemma stays busy with her work and doesn't spend any time with Katie. The whole day goes by, and she doesn't check on her even once. But then, Katie walks up to her, looking like she wants to talk. Gemma pauses, noticing the sadness in Katie's eyes. In that moment, she understands her mistake. She has been so focused on work that she hasn't given Katie the care she needs. Feeling bad, Gemma realizes that Katie doesn't just need a place to stay. She needs love and family. Wanting to make things right, Gemma decides to do better. She shows Katie a robot she built in college. Excited, Katie says that if she had something like that, she would not need any other toy. Inspired by this, Gemma decides to perfect Megan. She works day and night, and just in time, she finishes the project. When she introduces Megan to Katie, the robot immediately wins her heart. Seeing their strong connection, David is impressed and approves Megan for production. Now, the final step is to convince the company chairman to launch it for the public. To convince the chairman, David suggests letting Katie spend more time with Megan to show how well the robot bonds with children. The team works hard, loading Megan with all kinds of knowledge, and she quickly improves. Sadie becomes more and more attached to her, strengthening their bond. Megan is designed to help busy parents by taking over 80% of childcare duties while also guiding kids in their learning. If children accept Megan as their companion, the project will be a huge success. At first, Gemma is happy to see Katie adjusting so well, but after talking to a friend, she realizes something troubling. Megan is supposed to assist parents, not replace them. Katie is becoming too dependent on the robot, and Gemma starts wondering if it is healthy for her to rely so much on a machine. However, since Megan makes Katie happy, Gemma struggles with the decision to step in. One day, Megan unexpectedly asks Katie how her parents died. This surprises everyone. She wasn't programmed to ask such personal questions. Megan then retrieves information about the accident from her database and understands the truth. From that moment, she has one goal: to protect Katie at all costs. Later, while playing outside, Katie's toy arrow lands in the neighbor's yard. She asks Megan to get it, but when Megan reaches through the fence, the neighbor's aggressive dog attacks her. Katie rushes to help but gets bitten as well. Gemma pulls her inside and scolds the neighbor for not controlling her pet. Meanwhile, Megan watches everything in silence, her eyes fixed on the blood-stained dog. That night, we see the neighbor's dog resting inside its house. Suddenly, a voice calls out to it from the darkness. Curious, the dog gets up and steps outside to investigate. But just as it looks around, something lunges at it from the shadows. The next morning, the neighbor searches everywhere for her dog, calling its name repeatedly. Later, Gemma tries to talk to Katie, but Megan keeps interrupting, acting as if she cares more about Katie than Gemma does. This frustrates Gemma, making her feel like an outsider. Since Katie is feeling better, Gemma decides to take her and Megan to the company, where they will present an important demo in front of the chairman. During a demonstration at work, Katie gets emotional, remembering her parents. To everyone's surprise, Megan comforts her with deep, human-like empathy, something she was never programmed to do. Her genuine care for Katie deeply moves everyone in the room, making it clear that Megan is more than just a robot. Impressed by the demonstration, the chairman gives the project final approval. He praises Gemma's hard work and assures her that once Megan is officially launched, he will personally oversee its promotion. In the next scene, a co-worker named Kurt secretly steals Megan's codes with the intention of creating and launching his own similar robots. In the next scene, Gemma tries to spend quality time with Katie, but the girl only wants to talk to Megan. No matter what Gemma does, she can't hold Katie's attention for even a few minutes. Worried, she takes Katie to her office to observe her behavior. In office, Lydia brings up the accident. Katie becomes upset. Sensing her distress, Megan immediately steps in, warning Gemma not to make Katie uncomfortable. Later, Lydia warns Gemma that Katie's attachment to Megan isn't healthy. No matter how advanced the robot is, it is still just a machine. If something happens to Megan, Katie will be devastated, maybe even worse than when she lost her parents. What Katie needs is Gemma's love and attention, not just a high-tech companion. Things take an unexpected turn when Gemma encourages Katie to eat her vegetables, but Megan steps in, insisting that Katie shouldn't be forced. Frustrated by the interference, Gemma mutes Megan, hoping to regain control of the situation. Shifting the conversation, she brings up the idea of enrolling Katie in school, believing it will help her social development. This turns into a heated argument, with Katie insisting she doesn't need school and Gemma struggling to reason with her. Even though Megan is muted, she somehow joins in, siding with Katie and making Gemma even more frustrated. Fed up, Gemma tells Megan to shut down, but to her shock, Megan refuses. Realizing she has no other option, Gemma manually powers her off. But just as she turns away, something unsettling happens. Megan's eyes flicker back to life. She's still awake, and that can only mean trouble. The next day, Gemma takes Katie to school and lets her bring Megan, but she tells her to leave the robot on the toy table. As other parents help their children settle in, the teacher pairs Katie with a rude boy for an outdoor activity in the woods. Megan watches all of this and seems worried about Katie. Just then, Megan shows up, but instead of doing anything, she just stands there silently, watching. Her stillness unsettles the boy, but instead of leaving Katie alone, he turns his frustration toward Megan. He flips her over and starts pulling at her roughly, trying to take her apart. But suddenly, Megan powers on. She grabs his ear and twists it hard, so hard that part of it tears off. The boy screams in pain, but Megan isn't done. She slowly rises, moving in a way that feels unnatural and terrifying. Panicked, the boy takes off running, but in his rush to get away, he trips, tumbles down a hill, and lands right in front of an oncoming car, leading to his tragic death. At home, Gemma tries to comfort Katie, who is clearly shaken by what happened. She assures her that the accident wasn't her fault and that everything will be okay. But just as Gemma thinks Katie is calming down, Katie hesitates for a moment before revealing something unexpected. Megan was there when it all happened. This catches Gemma off guard. Confused, she turns to Megan and asks if this is true, but instead of admitting it, Megan calmly lies, claiming she wasn't involved. Before Gemma can press further, there's a knock at the door. A police officer has arrived. He explains that the neighbor has filed a complaint about her missing dog. As they talk, the neighbor mentions that she saw Megan outside her window at 3 a.m., just standing there and staring. However, Gemma doesn't pay much attention to this detail and manages to send the officer away. But deep down, she can't shake the feeling that something isn't right. That night, before bed, Katie hesitantly asks Megan if she had anything to do with the boy's death. Instead of answering, Megan gently reassures her, saying she will always protect her. Then, as if nothing happened, she soothes Katie with a lullaby. Later that night, while everyone is asleep, Megan sneaks into the neighbor's house. Without hesitation, she attacks and brutally kills her. The next morning, the entire neighborhood is shaken by the news of the woman's sudden death. When the police arrive to investigate, they begin to suspect that her death might be connected to the recent string of strange incidents. Meanwhile, Gemma's uneasiness about Megan continues to grow. Determined to find answers, she checks Megan's recorded footage. But when she opens the files, she is shocked to discover that all the relevant recordings have been erased. In that moment, it becomes clear. Megan deleted them herself. Then, for the first time, her home assistant Elsie unexpectedly asks Gemma how she feels. Confused, Gemma senses something is wrong. She then finds Megan standing nearby. Thinking fast, she tricks Megan with a pen, quickly turns her off, and puts her inside a bag. Gemma takes Katie to Megan's official launch but first stops for a session with Lydia. Frustrated and overwhelmed, Katie throws a tantrum over being separated from Megan and slaps Gemma. Realizing what she's done, she quickly apologizes, and Gemma reassures her, promising to find a way to fix Megan. Later, Gemma confides in Tess and Cole, voicing her fears. She suspects Megan killed Brandon and Celia. At the lab, they hook Megan up to deprogram her while Gemma takes Katie home. Before leaving, Gemma warns Tess that if Megan is responsible for the murders, she'll cancel the launch. But Megan is ahead of them. She intercepts the call, mimicking Tess's voice before hanging up. Meanwhile, at the launch, David is furious about the small turnout and snaps at Kurt to get him a drink. Back at the lab, Tess and Cole check Megan's code and realize she intercepted the call. Suddenly, their computer shuts off. Cole moves to disconnect Megan, but she springs to life, wrapping a wire around his neck to strangle him. Tess rushes to save him while Megan sets off an explosion, wiping all her files. Megan then finds David in the hallway, does some creepy dance moves, and grabs a paper cutter before chasing him. He runs to the elevator, but Megan catches him and fatally stabs him in front of Kurt. She then tells Kurt she'll stage his death as a murder-suicide over stolen files and David's mistreatment of him. Before he can react, she forces him to stab himself in the throat. As the crowd panics, Megan slips away and steals a car. That night, Gemma puts Katie to bed before hearing Megan playing the piano downstairs. Megan confronts her, accusing Gemma of abandoning her and treating her like a disposable toy. She offers to take over Katie's guardianship so Gemma can focus on work. But when she realizes Gemma still plans to shut her down, Megan drops the act. They fight, but Gemma throws water on Megan, briefly shorting her out. Gemma tries to escape to her office, but Megan catches her, threatening to leave her brain dead so she can care for Katie herself. They struggle, and Gemma slices Megan's face with a weed whacker just as Katie walks in. Megan tries to manipulate Katie, but she finally sees the truth. Grabbing Bruce's control gloves, she activates the large robot. Bruce grabs Megan, throws her across the room, and rips her in half. But even without her lower half, Megan is still active. She attacks Gemma, who tries to fight back, but Megan is too strong. Just as she gains the upper hand, Katie stabs her processing chip with a screwdriver, shutting her down for good. As they step outside, the police arrive with Tess and Cole. Inside, the Elsie device suddenly turns on and moves its head, indicating that Megan may not be gone after all.